Okay, I just flew over to Korea real quick so that I can show off my 1cc of Batsugun. This is a pretty easy 1cc, a very achievable 1cc, but it's also it's a great game and it's a great place to start for bullet hell games, especially if you want to go on to play some cave games in the future. So this is Batsugun Special Edition. We want to make sure that we play as Type B. It has the best damage, for sure, out of any of the ships. The focus laser is very helpful for bosses. When I first started playing, I assumed that Type C was going to be the better ship for a beginner because it has a spread shot, which I thought would be a lot easier for clearing enemies during the stage portions. But when we level up the Type B ship later in the game, it's going to have really good spread anyways, and the toughest parts of this game are definitely the boss fights. So that single enemy fire just to shorten those boss fights a little bit is going to help us out a lot. The Batsugun Special Edition was a re-release of the original game with a lot of changes, most of them making the game easier overall. So those changes are, you have a smaller hitbox than the original, so it's more like later cave games or kind of the more modern bullet hell games where you have a really tiny hitbox that makes dodging easier. They added loops, so you can play up to 4 loops of this now, which made it kind of more interesting for scoring, though scoring is dead in this because it's hit counter stop. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so first boss, very simple. You stay to one side, you break the 2 weapons on the right. After you do that, you just navigate over to the left side, break the 2 weapons on the left, and you just get center, shoot, it's going to fire a big barrage, you're just going to move out to the right, and then come back to the center, kill him, he'll be dead before that second cluster can even reach you. So like I said, pretty easy. This is a game that has, the high scores have hit counter stop, which means that there's players that have reached the maximum possible score that you can reach. And that's mostly due to a boss that we'll see later on where you can milk it, or it'll keep on generating enemies that you can blow up for more score, and you can kind of just keep doing that in loop. It's very difficult, but it has been done, so it's not a big score game anymore. Okay, so some other differences from standard Batsugun is that you have a shield, so you can survive 1 hit without dying, and then that replenishes every time that you level up. So we're about to level up right here. So leveling up, it clears bullets on the screen, but it doesn't destroy enemies. You can kind of count on it happening around the same time in your run. So usually right when that ship carrier shows up is when it'll happen. You can level up a total of 3 or 4 times, I think. Maybe it's possible in other loops to get farther than that. I'm honestly not sure. This level 2 boss was kind of the first obstacle for me. I found dodging these initial patterns to be a little bit tricky. You can see I'm kind of twitchy even now after some practice. What I would recommend is don't bother bombing that if you are having trouble with it, because like I said, you have that one-time shield, so you can take 1 hit. You'll hear a sound effect. It's like a ping sound effect. If you do hear that, then you know, okay, now maybe I do need to bomb. For the second phase, I kind of try to stay in between the 2 streams of bullets that it shoots, and sometimes I can get away with no bombs or just 1 bomb, but I've budgeted into my run that I can use 2 bombs there. I don't worry about it too much, you know, as long as we don't die, it's always better to use a bomb than to die. And this game gives us lots of resources, so we don't need to be too particular about it. These pigs that we see, they're scoring items, so I don't care about them too much here in a survival run. But that is another addition to Special Edition. There were some of the pigs existed in the original, but I think they added more just to add more options for scoring, which is kind of cool. This section here is another one that can be a little dicey. There's enemies that are coming in from lots of different places, and then that turret in the center is going to put pressure on you. You can see I used a bomb there, which I don't normally plan to use a bomb there. I think I got kind of stressed. But it's okay because the section that is coming after this, there's going to be these 2 enemies right here. So I did have a budgeted bomb for this. So kind of in my head, I'm going like, okay, so I used a bomb on that last section, so I'm going to try to kind of get that bomb back in a way by not using the bomb here. Because I don't really need it, it's just a safety thing. So we're just moving the safety from one thing to another, shifting around our planned bombs, which maybe isn't always the best idea. But for something where it's like, you know, I think I probably can do this, but I'll just be more consistent if I bomb, we can move it. This is the easiest boss in the game. It's not even close. Well, okay, besides the level 1 boss. We just need to break the weapons on either side again while dodging these little clusters. Those lasers in the middle, we never even need to get close to those. You don't have to worry about it. And then we're going to break its shell here. And then we want to move over to the far left or the far right side of the screen, because these turrets are going to pop up, so we want to blow up that one, and then we'll blow up the one on the other side. Those blue bullets that it shoots out can look kind of scary, but you can shoot those, so you don't have to actually worry about dodging them. So it's going to respawn them once each, I think, so we're going to navigate back over to the right again, blow it up, there we go. And then, I don't know if we actually even blew it up the second time before we did enough damage. Again, that's the Type B ship for you. It does so much damage that it really makes things a lot easier. We're going to earn the 1-up naturally there from the end of stage bonus, so that's great. And then we're into stage 4. So stage 4 is a gauntlet of a stage. It's about twice the length of the other ones, and it has the hardest mini-boss too. So this is the one that you're going to spend most of your time practicing. At least it's what I spent most of my time practicing. If you can get through stage 4 with an okay amount of resources, then you can probably clear the game, because stage 5 is not nearly as difficult. And there's only 5 stages in this game, not too long. So, like I said, this is a pretty beginner-friendly shmup, I would say. This is totally doable, the special edition, special version. I think I missed it. We also hit our level 3 level up. So I think this is our max level for the rest of the game here. So you can see these bosses are basically a mini version of the level 2 boss. Much easier, smaller clusters. Just really want to try to clear enemies as fast as possible, because they can overwhelm you quick if you don't. But like, you can see the spread on this thing. We can cover a huge amount of the screen. You see there, so you heard that ping sound. Maybe that was my shield going off. So I did actually take a hit, but it's fine because we leveled up, our shield replenished. So now I just need to be aware that I don't have that safety anymore. So you don't want to be relying on your shield, but you know, it will save you regardless. It's just kind of like a little bit of extra protection, which I appreciate as someone who gets hit a lot in games like this. You can see we get another bomb here. I think one thing to keep in mind is that if you are being really conservative with bombs, I think that the maximum that you can have at one time is 7. So if you have 7 bombs already, then you definitely should bomb, and that'll become applicable at the end of stage boss here in stage 4. I plan bombs for this mid-boss too. That second phase I find can be a little bit inconsistent. Sometimes he gets a lot closer to me than I like. So I just bomb for safety. Do that a lot in this. I know that I'm going to die to the stage 4 boss here, but it's okay because we'll have enough resources for stage 5. This section always gets me on edge a little bit, especially when I'm doing decently like I am here in this run, at least by my standards. It just keeps on coming, and at the end of it, there's going to be a little dance that we have to do with some planes that come up from the bottom. So I got to remember the cue for that. These yellow planes you want to destroy as soon as you possibly can. You want to get right under them with your laser fire, because they add a lot of extra projectile. Okay, so when you see that line of those little bugs come up, these planes come up, you need to first dodge the green shots vertically, and then you want to get under them and dodge their downward shots horizontally. There's going to be 4 of them that come. And you don't want to be on the left side of the screen after that line of pink enemies, because it'll come right up underneath you and kill you. There's a couple places like that in Batsugun where enemies kind of pop up without a whole lot of warning. Usually they won't start firing immediately, so it's still kind of fair, but it's something to be aware of, that there's... You can't just hug the bottom of the screen and expect to be safe. Okay, so here's my first death there, which I think I didn't have any bombs, so I feel okay about that. Like, if I'm gonna die, I always want to die with no bombs. Maybe I'm wrong about that. In this, we want to move from the left to the right side and blow up the turrets as soon as we can, because that'll obviously decrease the number of projectiles that we get. Because I didn't practice this boss very much, always get scared when the middle turret shows up and starts firing out those green bullets. If you just stay calm, you can do it. Again, I didn't practice this section, so this really freaked me out. I needed to learn a dodging pattern for that. I just planned to bomb here, because again, you get lots of bombs, and if you're just going for survival, you can afford to use them here. And you'll get 2 bombs for destroying this thing too. It's really safe to bomb it. You don't have to feel like you need to be super conservative with it. Those front turrets are going to shoot. You want to get in between 2 of the bullets. That can feel a little bit scary, but it'll make the rest easier, because you can just sit here right up until the last boss turret pops up. So this is the part of the game where if you're going for score, like, you can milk this. It'll start spawning these enemies in those channels below either the turrets on either side. If you break a certain part of the ship, I honestly don't really know how it works. But look up a counterstop video of Batsugun Special, it's pretty cool. So again, I'm just bomb spamming my way through. It's very scrubby clear. You can break the turrets on either side, which I think is probably the strategy, right? Is that you break one side and then you can easily dodge to, easily, in quotes, you can dodge to the side. I didn't discover that until my last couple of runs in practice. I had just planned to bomb my way through it, so I didn't really learn the boss. And that's the disadvantage of doing that, right? Like, if I wanted to come back to this, I would need to relearn a lot of bad habits that I learned from the survival clear. Okay, and now we're in stage 5, which I don't want to say is like, it's smooth sailing from here, but I felt decently confident with 2 lives still that I could make it, because we're going to pick up a bunch of bombs in this stage as well. And this is a lot shorter than stage 4 too. Oh, okay, so we can. I took another hit there, but we had a shield again. So I guess that maybe the shield replenishes at the beginning of a new stage too, because I think I used my shield after hitting level 3. That's something that I didn't actually realize. For the final boss in this game, if you're just playing for survival, you don't even need to practice it at all. If you can manage to instead just get to the final boss with, I think it's 5 bombs. If you have 5 bombs or 2 bombs and an extra life still, then you don't need to dodge it at all. You can just sit there and you can bomb your way straight through it. You'll be totally safe. So I died here. I'm feeling a little bit nervous because I'm like, ooh, I kind of wanted to save that for later. I was hoping I could make it into the boss with a little bit more safety, because we won't pick up any more extra lives, but we will pick up a bunch of bombs. So I'm still good as long as I don't need to use a bunch of bombs on the stage. If I can just conserve those and then pick up the bombs that drop, I know that I'll be okay. Yeah, so this is another stage where there's enemies that come right from the side of the screen, and you need to be careful of. Really, you shouldn't be doing what I'm doing and hugging the edges of the screen. It's pretty dangerous. Right in this bit especially, we're gonna really get surrounded, and yeah, so because I was kind of panicking at this point, so I lost my last life. Now I'm like, okay, no, I don't think I'm gonna get it. I'll play it through anyways, which of course you should always do if you're this deep in a run. You should just play through the end of the credit, don't reset. But I'm like, I only have 3 bombs and no extra lives for safety. I know that I need 5 bombs to get through the boss, which I haven't practiced because I've been planning to bomb it, which also maybe bad strategy, but I guess I got lucky and it worked out for me here. Okay, so we'll pick up that bomb. We definitely need that. I know that I can't afford to use any more bombs in the stage portion here. I think. I don't think I use any more bombs. We'll find out, I guess. Because I think, yeah, we get this bomb, and then I think we're going to hit the boss right after this. One more bomb, okay. So we maybe actually could have budgeted one more bomb for the stage portion, and maybe I do use one. Because I feel like I only had 5 bombs at the end, but let's see. Big gauntlet of enemies, just, you know, keep shooting. There's nothing more to it than that. Okay, so now I'm like, at this point I'm like, okay, I won. As long as I don't do anything too stupid, I'm just going to sit right here in the middle, hold down the fire button, and then bomb when the bullets get close to me. I was a little premature with that one. I should have waited. I could have held out a little bit more, a little bit longer, and it would have given me more cover for getting in the damage, but it doesn't really matter with 6 bombs. This is kind of a piece of cake. This is my last bomb, and yeah, so it's exactly the resources that I need to get through with no skill whatsoever on the final boss there. And we did it. That's Batsugun special. This is a really fun game. We'll see. I start the next loop here just to see how far I could get. I won't talk all the way through that, but in the subsequent loops in Batsugun, enemies release these death bullets, as you can see, so it adds a lot more onto the screen that you have to be careful of. I don't know if there's any other differences. I didn't play the subsequent loops except for this one time that I actually made it through the 1cc. But I think I make it through the first couple of stages at least here, which is cool. So this was, I've mentioned in another video, this was Toaplan's last game that kind of became the blueprint for cave games afterwards. And a lot of people call this the first true bullet hell game, the first true Danmaku game, which I think is fair. And it definitely got emulated a lot in the subsequent years after this. It's really a shame that Toaplan didn't really get to celebrate with this more as a company before going bankrupt. So that's rank 5 of the pants list. Thanks for watching through my commentary. Next time we are going to be talking about Musha Aleste.